Hello everyone, I'm Swati and today we are going to see some star pattern programs in C. So let's begin. First we'll see a simple program. So here this is a program which prints one star in first row, two stars in second row, third star in three rows. So the number of rows is equivalent to the number of stars. Here you can see the program. Here we have mentioned the number of rows. So the number of rows can be taken as input. So here I have given 5, right? We can give any input and those many number of rows will be printed, and the column is equivalent to the number of rows, right? So this one star means that first column, two stars, that is two columns are there. So if we make the number of columns equivalent to number of rows and print this star, then we can get this pattern. Okay, now if you want to make the number of columns also equivalent to the number of input, then we'll see what just happens. Now I've made a single change, that is instead of row I have given here n, and now we'll execute this. If I give 10, see we get a matrix like thing as the output. So the number of rows is equivalent to the number of columns in this. Now in the same program, if you want to print a pattern, something, we have printed this already. Now if you want to print something like if you want to print a pattern like this, you want only stars at the edges, then you have to think of some logic. Okay, so how can you print this? Now we have to see what is the row and the column where stars are present. So the row is 1, you can see in the column is 1. In the first column all these stars are printed, and similarly in the first row also these stars are present, and similarly here you can see in the last row it contains star, and in the last column also it contains star. So that's the condition. So either the row should be equal to 1 or 5, or the column should be 1 or the column should be 5. So let's change this and try to get the output. So now if we execute this, okay, now if I give 15, then okay, there is one mistake here. We have to give this Yes, now we are getting the output. So earlier it was right, but I don't know why the output has not come. Okay, so you can see that after each execution of this, there should be an end of line, so that we have written it outside the for loop. So keep that in mind. Outside this condition, we have to put this /n. Okay, so now you can see we got a box like output. So let's try some more patterns. Okay, now if you want this pattern, so you may think it is similar to the one which we solved it in first, right? It was in first we saw it was tilted towards the left, but here it's tilted towards right. But the logic is not that easy, so let's see. Okay, so here we just don't have to just print stars as in the first program. We have to also print the spaces. In the first program, the spaces were not so important because it was after the stars. But here we have spaces in the beginning, so we have to print them also. Okay, so how will we relate this? As we did in this problem, we have to relate the row and the column. Okay, just look at the row and the column where these stars are present. First we'll see the boundary of the space and the stars. So this is the boundary which is separating the spaces and the stars, right? So here the row and the column is 1 and 5. This is the second row and this is the fourth column. This is the third row and third column. This is the fourth row, second column, and this is fifth row and first column. So what is the relation between all these numbers? Is if we add them, then we are getting 6 for all these numbers, right? So 6 is nothing but the input plus 1, the number of rows in columns plus 1, 5 plus 1. Okay, so that is the condition. So if the row plus column is equal to n plus 1, then for all that less than that, that is the row and column below that, should be having spaces. So if row and column is less than 6, then we should print space, else for greater than or equal to 6 we have to print stars. So we'll have a look at the program, then you'll get a better understanding. So in the same we are going to change. Okay, now we'll try to execute this. Yes, so we have got it. As I told you, this condition should be after the if and else condition, but inside the same loop, since the spaces also are included in the looping, right? So now you can see that we got the tilted triangle. So the same condition which I told you is used here. Now we'll make another small change in this and try to form another pattern. Now what I'm going to do is, Okay, now you can see that I just copied and pasted the same program for from this for loop of column. I've copied and pasted. Then we got two identical triangles, and we have used the same row column, that is the row loop, for both these. You don't have to put another for loop for this row. Okay, and now we'll make another change and you will see what output we get. So now I have pasted the same loop again, and I'm going to just reverse the condition in the loop. Now you can see if I've just changed this condition, and we got a different output. So previously what we had is this. Okay, what previously we had was this, but now when I reverse the loop, then you got something like this. Now we'll make another small change and look what is happening. So now we got another output. We got a tilted triangle which is looking downward, and another thing which you can look now is it looks like a fox, right? So similarly you can form many other patterns using this. See here, using the same program, we can also get another output. See here, it looks like K or an arrow mark. So this is actually we have just reversed the looping condition. What we have to do is, you can see that actually it is just the mirror image. So we have to only change the looping condition inside the second loop also, then you will get this output. So similarly you can try many more patterns by just making few changes. You can change the star and space here and see what output you get, and you can reverse the looping conditions and you can get new output, so on. So there is no limit to these patterns, and these patterns are also very interesting. So try new programs like this every day, each and every day, and surely you'll succeed in you'll succeed in programming. Thank you.